I would advise them as well to try to reconcile their differences during this break with the royal family.
What would you advise them? How do you salvage this?
First advice would be to take a step back.
Yeah.
Number one, do some charity work, low-key charity work, begin showing a sense of humor, get away from the Hollywood lifestyle. I think that's hurt them quite a bit. They've been complaining nonstop that they want to be left alone, and then they appear everywhere on all the red carpets. Take a step back. Go and visit some orphanages. Do some charity work. Take a break. I would advise them to take probably about a 6 to 12-month break from major public appearances. Mm-hmm. Then when they come back, they need to reintroduce themselves. I would advise them as well to try to reconcile their differences during this break with the royal family. And then when they come back, I would recommend one key interview for them. And I would not advise Oprah. I would actually advise someone who's a critic of theirs. Because that's, of course, going to be a harder interview for them. But more people will tune in just because of the dynamic. And then I would advise them to reintroduce the two of them and let them announce how they've reconciled with the royal family, but also how they're moving forward in a more positive manner, how they want to give back rather than appear they want to take everything. Because that's one of the problems that's been hurting them as well. In the States, for example, they complain about they didn't get a big enough allowance or they were cut off. Most people do not, in this day and age, feel sorry about that. No. So that's hurt them. I think they need to show a little humble pie. The other thing that I would advise them to do, too, is apologize for some of their actions. It's going to hurt, but we said people like a redemption story. They like a comeback and apologize. We made some mistakes. We're wrong. We're young. We were going through things. We perhaps shouldn't have aired everything that we did, but we're ready to move on now. And this is our next chapter.
David, let's hope they listen and take your advice, because seriously, hopefully they're tuning in, because that is some great advice. And I agree. I think the 6 to probably 12-month break make us miss you. We want to see what you guys have to say.
I mean, they overexposed themselves. Harry, particularly with his book tour, really overexposed himself. And some of the things that he voiced in the book as well was a little too much for most people. And that's the other thing, that it's almost like when you're riding on the highway and you see a billboard so many times, you begin to zone it out.
Right.
That's hurt them as well. They're so overexposed that every time they open their mouth, people are no longer paying attention.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.